So, Jacqueline,
yes.
Do you want to jump into another news story here with us?
Sure.
Let's do it. What story do we have now, Ben?
Let's do the story about the girl who was killed for photobombing.
That sounds good.
A serious offense.
Right now, 2 persons of interest in custody and arrested by police in this brutal beating. There's a third person of interest that has not been tracked down yet. But here's the problem. The victim's friends not coming forward, not cooperating with police. That's going to be a problem, I believe. Let's bring in our legal dream team to talk about all that in this case. Here in studio, we've got Esther Panish, great criminal and civil attorney here in Atlanta, and TV's Judge Glenda Hatchett with us as well. And in New York, Double J, Joey Jackson on the case today. Great to have you all here. Let's start first. I want to start first with the victim's friends. And I understand they're from the Vietnamese community out there, and what we hear is there's might be some mistrust of police and government for whatever reasons. But that may result in a miscarriage of justice if you only get her side of the story and you don't get Kim Phan's side of the story because she can't tell it.
That's right. What kind of friends are they of the victim if they won't come forward and tell the police what they saw? They are eyewitnesses to a murder, and they need to be able to be heard. And you know, prosecutors have ways of compelling people to testify even if they don't want to.
Yeah, I think it's a cultural piece. I think this whole thing of distrust
So, the story here that they're covering is almost not the fact that someone was beaten to death for the photobomb.
Yeah.
They're kind of covering it from the angle that the Vietnamese friends of this Vietnamese girl that was beaten to death are not coming forward and testifying because they distrust the authorities.
Snitches get stitches.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, no.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. I don't trust the authorities either, but I think if in the instance of a murder, especially of my friend, like if someone broke in right now and stabbed Ben, I wouldn't be sitting here like, I ain't seen nothing.
Yeah, we saw nothing, man. We were outside.
I ain't seen nothing,
Oh shit!
man.
Time to get out of here.
Let's roll.
I've heard this before, but somebody's got to sit them down. And I would think that probably the victim's parents would be the most effective to say, look, we just need you. You've got to come through. Otherwise, this person may get away with murder.
Yeah, Joey Jackson, looking at the way everything is evolving here, you know, investigators, this shouldn't be the most difficult case to solve, should it? Because it's caught on camera. Right. There are dozens of people there. She's being killed in front of everyone. Yet for police, it's been a little bit of a struggle here.
Yeah, so she was killed. She was beaten to death in front of a bunch of people for walking into someone's photo.
Was she intentionally trying to be in the photo, or was it just
not.
An instance of happenstance?
And it sounds like
a
huge overreaction.
Yeah.
Regardless,
it doesn't really matter. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, really, it has no bearing. I mean, obviously, the reaction is severely. I mean, well, the fact that there even was a reaction would be silly, but the fact that it was such a massive overreaction that resulted in a person's death.
They were going to post that picture to Instagram. You know, fuck with Instagram pictures.
Yeah, that would have been the best Instagram post ever, if not for you.
that'd be my profile picture, motherfucker.
Well, this is the same world where you get shot for texting inside of a movie theater, so why not get beaten to death for photobombing?
So you get beaten to death for photobombing, you get shot for texting in the theater.
You also get shot for carrying Skittles and iced tea on you.
Yes,
too.
if wearing a hoodie and being black and having Skittles,
and you're spied on constantly, and you're a potential terrorist.
Yeah, and if you play Angry Birds,
There's a lot of
the government's
incentive to do
spying on
that
you.
because then you just get famous and rich. So you know.
Yeah. So here's a little more on this.
So tragic, so sad, a life taken way too soon. 23 years old, so much promise, and to think about how she died, it's unbelievable. It boggles the mind to think of a photobomb to lead to murder or death like this. But I think ultimately, and thankfully, not that there's anything thankful about this case, but thankfully I think there are a number of people who witnessed that, and whether those people happen to be related or friends of hers, or whether they happen to be patrons or other people that were there, you could see based on the cell phones, and I understand at least 5 of those phones are in police custody, you know, that'll be a major key here in addition to other participants who I'm sure will want to come forward and want to see justice in this case, Vinny.
All right, well, let's talk about the other side right now. Michael Malfetta, he's a great attorney. I've had him on my show in years past many times.
You know, I mean, I think we can all agree that beating someone to death for being, photobombing is wrong?
Yes.
Scotty?
I mean, I don't know. It could have been their profile picture, dude.
Yeah, profile.
Justifiable homicide.
What about you, Jacqueline?
I mean, I like to photobomb people, and I think it's funny when people are behind me in pictures. So I don't get the point. The big deal.
So
You may be murdered soon.
Would you now have second thoughts about photobombing some random people if they might, just on the off chance they might just beat you to death?
Yeah, I guess maybe it's not the best idea.
Yeah. In hindsight.
Apparently, some people take it pretty seriously. What do you make of the fact that the witnesses won't come forward? I mean, if one of your friends was beaten to death before your eyes, I think you would want to come forward, right?
Yeah, there's got to be something else going on there. That doesn't make any sense.
I think it may be something like a cultural thing. I don't know. There might be such a strong inherent distrust of the authorities that you're not supposed to talk to them under any circumstance.
I don't know. That's a little bit much.
Yeah, that's what they were implying, but who knows?
That seems to be the tone of the piece. So I don't know if that's a justified perspective or if that's a forced perspective that's oversimplifying something.
Sounds like an excuse. I don't know. I mean, I don't doubt that it's a cultural thing to some degree, but like, damn, if somebody murdered your friend in front of you, it's kind of pushing it. You know, I can see it for like little crimes and things, but murder, like,
yeah,
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Probably just really selfish and just don't want to be involved in such a matter. They're like, oh, this is just fucked up. I don't want to be involved in this at all.
This is a slam dunk case too. There's video evidence of the murder and everything.
Maybe that's why they don't want to come forward, because they just figure, like, you got video. What do you need us for?
True.
I don't know. I almost feel like they're like afraid of something happening to them if they come forward. Like somebody, like they know who did it or something. Maybe and they're worried about
true. Maybe they're worried about, like, hey, if we're witnesses, maybe these guys have friends or something.
Yeah. I don't know.